Okay, everyone, this is the last video for this set number 5. I think it's number 12, okay? It's a doozy. Let's have some fun. Here we go. So, guys, notice on this one, they're asking us to solve the triangle. What does that mean again? That means we got to find every side and every angle. Well, look at this. We already know all the sides. That means we need to find all 3 angles, and we don't even know one angle yet. So what are we going to do? Well, the first thing we're going to do is use the law of cosines, okay? And let's go ahead and find angle C over here, okay? We could start with A or B as well, but I'm going to start with C. I don't know. This seems like more appealing to me. So notice that 19 is across from C. And I'm going to call 11 my A. I'm going to call 25 my B. The key thing to remember with the law of cosines is whatever angle you're going to use, and I decided to use C here, you need the 2 sides of that angle, right? The angle, in other words, theta, as I call it, has to be between 2 sides. Anyways, let's get to the math. Does everyone agree that 19 squared, this is going to be our C right here, has to equal the 11 squared, A squared, plus the 25 squared, that's my B squared, minus 2 times the A times the B times the cosine of my angle, which I don't know, and that's angle C. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my calculator, guys. And we're just going to hopefully shorten the video a little bit. So you're going to have to watch exactly what I do on the calculator. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is do 19 squared on my calculator. As you can see, 19 squared is 361. Right? So notice, once I know that's 361, am I not going to go ahead and minus the 11 squared and then minus the 25 squared? I'm going to minus them and get rid of them, right? So that's what I did. Right here, I took my answer, 361. I minus the 11 squared. I minus the 25 squared. I ended up with negative 385. So what I have now is negative 385. That's going to equal this right here. Negative 2 times 11 times 25, cosine of our missing angle C. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do all of this in my calculator and get that value. So here we go. Negative 2 times 11 times 25. That's my negative 2AB part, right? Negative 550. So what I have now is negative 385 equal to negative 550 cosine of our missing angle C. To find cosine of C, do you agree? I'm going to now divide by negative 550. And that's what I did. Negative 385 divided by my answer, which was negative 550, is positive 0.7. So once I did this, I got 0.7 equal to cosine of C, which means all I had to do now was do a cosine inverse, right? Because that gets rid of the cosine. And so my C is going to be whatever that is, the cosine inverse of 0.7. So notice right down here, I did cosine inverse of my answer. And when I did cosine inverse of that answer, 0.7, there it is. Now I'm just going to go ahead and round it off to 45.6 degrees. I'm not going to round it off to 46 because I want to be at least a little more accurate, right guys? So I'm going to do 45.6, alrighty? So that's what I have so far. I now know, guys, my angle C right over here. Let me clean it up a little bit because I now know it's 45.6 degrees. Now what? So watch the blue. Hopefully the blue shows up really good here, guys. All right. Now that I know angle C, and I know 19, which is opposite of C, you see where I'm going here? I have an angle on its opposite side. And for some reason, I decided I like B. So notice B is opposite of the 11. Okay? So I'm going to set up the law of sines to find angle B. Okay? And I'm going to set it up right here. I know 11 goes with the sine of B. They're opposites of each other, right? Let me just double check. 11 is opposite of B. Good. And 19 is opposite of 45.6, right? What was that number again? Sorry, I'm getting a little tired. 19. So 19 is the side opposite. And we're going to do the sine of 45.6 degrees. Aha! So now I should be able to solve for B here. First, solve for sine of B. Let's do our cross multiply this way. I have 11 times the sine of 45.6 degrees. That's going to equal 19 times the sine of B. All right. And to solve for the sine of B, I'm going to divide both sides by 19. I told you this one's going to be a doozy. So the sine of B equals whatever this is, right? And so let's just go ahead and calculate that on the calculator. So here's the sine of 56.7144. We're going to times it by 11. We got that. We're going to divide by 19. We got 0.4136. Now don't, like me, don't clear the calculator, right? Leave it in there. But I'm just to show my work, I'm going to put down 0.4136. 0.4136. So let's make sure we understand what I did. What I did was I did the sine of 45.6. I times it by 11. I divided by 19, right? Sine of 45.6 times 11, divide 19. Perfect so far. Now what? Well, hopefully you know this step now. I'm going to do the sine inverse on both sides. Because getting rid of the sine, I now know what my angle B is. So once I do the sine inverse of that 0.4136, I'll be good to go. And so notice I did the sine inverse of that 0.1436. That's my answer, right? And I got 24.433 degrees. All right? So let's jot that down. I now know B is 24.4 degrees if I round off, right? And notice, guys, I'm just going to add it with the other angle we found. I got basically 70. And then, once I knew they summed up to 70, once I minus from 180, I got my last angle, which is basically, if I round that off, that's 110 degrees, right? So let me explain what I did again. What I did was, now that we know that, let me clean this up a little bit. We don't need our A's and little B's and little C's anymore. Okay. Yeah, let me actually rewrite that. So what we just did, guys, is first we found, using the law of cosines, that was 45.6. Then we found little b over here was 24.4 degrees, right? Do you agree if I add these two together and subtract from 180, which they added up to basically 70, that's why my last angle A had to be 110 degrees. Okay, so guys, I'm just going to scroll through. Let's start with the calculator work first. Pause here if you need to see any of that calculator work. Pause here if you need to see any of the setup or calculator work as well. Pause here finally to see most of the rest of the calculator work. Here's actually the last part of it where we found the 110. Remember, every triangle adds up to 180, right? And of course, finally, pause right here if you need to see the initial setup using the law of cosines. Okay, guys, so that ends the extra credit set number 4, or handout number 4. And that ends my set of videos here. But as I told you before the break, guys, I'm going to do some more videos that are potentially game changers for you guys. All right? So please, heads up for that. I'm just relieved I at least got through the extra credit, because that at least the least I could do during our break, right? But anyways, I'll see you in class, guys. God bless.